Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the Walk and Talk. Today is Saturday. It is 4:30 in the morning. 4:31 actually. We're here. We're on the East Coast of the United States. I want to thank everybody for dropping in, being here this morning. Let's get up. Let's get at it. Let's walk. Let's talk. Let's move, people. Let's be purposeful in our day. Welcome up. Thank you for being here. It is Saturday. This morning, as always, we're going to be focused on growth. I want to thank you guys for helping me build the channel. I want to thank you for your continued commitment. I'm going to ask right now that as you check in, as always, make sure you check in. Let me know where you're checking in from, what time of day it is, where you are. We're out here focused on growth, development, purpose, building. Not just building for the purpose of building, but building with intent. Not just for the sake of taking action, but with the understanding that we have a direction, we have a dedication, a desire, an intent to achieve. Let's do that this morning, people, purposefully. Once again, thank you for being here. Thank you for being up. And thank you for being involved. Let's do this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This morning, we spend time getting educated, motivated, enlightened. We want to truly focus on understanding that we're building to our future. We're building to our purpose, towards it. And this morning, people, I want to talk about why poor people hate discipline. It's a fact. I mean, it is hard written in stone. Poor people hate discipline. Hate it with a passion. Have this complaint, this vision about why it's always somebody else's fault. And they hate discipline because discipline kills that excuse. Watched it, lived it, I've been a part of it. But this morning, I'm gonna explain to you why it's there. I'm gonna explain to you how they use it and see if you possess this poor DNA. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for checking in. As always, let me know where you're checking in from, what time of day it is, where you are. Good morning. As we continue to grow and move, I encourage you to take into your life those things that edify you, strengthen you, bring you knowledge, bring you closer to your goal. It's a beautiful, crisp Saturday morning here in the Northeast. Welcome in, people. Thank you for being here. Let's take a look around. Brandon, good morning. Everyone, welcome to the Walk and Talk. I'll continue to get up and do these walk and talks moving forward. I'll only be doing them on Mondays and Fridays as a part of the series There'll be more content and more access, more for everyone in the membership tiers on tier 1 and 2. Those will be launching November 3rd. Be sure to prepare yourselves to be a part, take advantage of joining. If you're really ready to kick your discipline into play, to take advantage of growing your focus and your future, make sure you find yourself a way to join and become a part of building the legacy that you want. And again, it starts with discipline, people. And I want to let you know, I want to be direct with letting you know what we're talking about this morning is a part of that process. It's a part of that thought process. This is what we want to do now, is understand that our investment into our life, our investment into our future is not just in money. It is in thoughts, it's in actions, it's in behaviors, it's in beliefs, it is in the mindset. These things that are required for us to understand how to reach our goal is tied to more than just dollar amount. And you're going to learn that here on BNV Finance Fixers. Is what we discuss. We discuss how to get there. We discuss what needs to be done. And we discuss the ways to do it practical. We're not going to talk about, hey, what if you wrote a book? We're not going to talk about, hey, let's go out and everybody start buying crypto. We're talking about practical application for real life, for real people, right? That's what we're talking about. We're going to do it. And it starts with discipline. Discipline isn't a catchphrase. Discipline isn't a joke. Discipline isn't something that you can go out and buy, not something that you practice at night by filming on your phone. You have to be about it, have to be real. Thank you, Styles. Dark Horse, thank you very much. Thank you. Joe, thank you for checking in and being a part. And so, people, this morning, I want to talk about what makes why poor people hate discipline. A couple of things that we have to cover first before we can really, truly explain why poor people hate discipline. Here's the first thing we have to understand about why poor people hate discipline. We need to understand what discipline is, right? Let's take a moment to identify and clarify what is discipline. Discipline has 4 pillars. Discipline is repetition. It's the process of getting up and doing something over and over again. For anything you want to achieve, you have to get started. You have to start doing it, people. If you're not doing it, if you haven't started, there's no way you can finish. The next thing that we have to do is we have to be patient. We have to get started with the understanding that it's not going to be done this afternoon. It's not something I'm going to finish in the next 5 minutes. It's something I'm building on. Repetition and patience is when you learn, practice, develop, and grow. You have to start there. You have to have repetition and patience before you can have consistency. You cannot be consistent at something to which you do not have the knowledge or skill to perform. This is important because a lot of people believe, hey, I can just be consistent. I can just start consistently scoring. I can start consistently tracking. I can start consistently doing whatever it is that's in front of them. But consistency requires for you to first establish a knowledge and an understanding of the thing it is you're trying to do. If you don't have knowledge and understanding, if you don't have the ability, if you don't have the know-how, you can't be consistent at it. That's why repetition is there. Repetition is there so you can take the time to understand and learn that thing without frustration, without having the headaches, without having the pain. It's about being able to get up and start taking the steps. And then the next thing that you do is once you have the repetition and the patience is you move on and you start to understand that now I need to be consistent. Consistency requires a plan. It requires a deadline. It requires somewhere you're going. When you're consistent at this point, you know how to do it. You have the skill. You have the tool set. Now you need to apply it. You need to apply the skill and the tool set towards getting yourself somewhere, towards achieving something. Until you have a plan, you cannot have consistency. But that's fine because you need the repetition. You need to understand that just doing what you're doing on a regular basis is a part of the growth process. It's a part of the learning. It's a part of establishing the pattern. Now, once we get this pattern established, once we understand that we have work to do, we have skills to learn, we have knowledge we need to acquire, when we come to that realization, it allows for us to continue to walk. It allows for us to continue to grow. It allows for us to set a plan, set a destination, and then start working towards it. That's consistency. Consistency must be graded. You can't grade repetition. I continue to share the example of children in school. We teach them shapes. We teach them patterns. We teach them shapes and patterns because our words and numbers are just a series of shapes and patterns. And so as we continue to build on teaching those shapes and patterns, eventually the children learn to count and to read and to add and to write. Why? Because they were doing the repetition of square, circle, diamond, rectangle, triangle, and then they did them in patterns: circle, square, triangle, circle, square, triangle. And then we added colors: red circle, blue circle, green circle. So these things give them the basis of the repetition. We're not grading this. We're just saying, let's do it. Let's go through, let's do it. Let's just keep creating, let's keep learning, let's keep participating. And then as the children start to do this, eventually they learn that this little squiggly shape is a 2. This one is a 8. This one is a L. This one is a D. And it may not make sense immediately. It's just the point that they are developing this understanding and they're starting to grow. We have to do that. That's repetition. That's patience. We have to do that because without it, you don't have the ability to say that you're knowledgeable. We don't have the ability to work on something consistently because we lack the basis of just being able to understand, just being able to identify and realize the difference between a triangle and the letter A. So once we go through the repetition, the patience, and now we start to work on consistency, which is growing and reading and learning and counting, we now move from that towards perseverance, towards taking on the challenges when they become difficult. Joe said lots of buzzwords and catchphrases. Thank you, Joe. Roman, Jesus loves you also. And so, what does this mean for us? What does it mean when we start talking about growing? We start talking about being able to understand, hey, what we do here with this repetition, patience, consistency is we apply it and we continue to grow. Discipline tells us we must continue to push through because the element of discipline that is most important is what we get at the end, which is the perseverance. And perseverance is when we take what we've gone through and we turn it into something. We take what we've been through and we let it turn us into the person we need to be so we can see what it is we want to see. It is not always easy. It is not always understandable or the path isn't always laid out when we're traveling this road of discipline. And that is where perseverance is built. When it is cold, when it is rainy, when there is no wind in your sails, when there is difficulty, when there are times where it seems like you're not going to make it, this is where discipline comes in. That's the first thing we need to understand about why poor people hate discipline. Because poor people believe that things should be provided for them at a level that allows for them to just live. And they should, through discipline. See, discipline is joy. Discipline is structure. Discipline isn't about denying yourself. Discipline is about taking up the behaviors that help you create the structure to enjoy yourself. Developing the free time and an understanding of what it takes to get where you're going. So many people lack discipline and they want everybody else to care for them and take care of them. Poor people walking around asking for someone to be their means. Understand, oh, it's so hard. Can't you do this for me? And they refuse to put in the few moments of discipline and structure that it takes to achieve and get out of the situation. Poor people hate discipline. They hate discipline because discipline in its nature alleviates excuses. It removes the ability to be able to go out here and blame where you are on someone else. See, when you use discipline, everything is on you. External stuff, you know you can't control because discipline is an internal thing. And then when you internally develop yourself to a place where you understand there is a structure requirement for you, there is an action requirement from you, there is a commitment and dedication requirement from you, you stop with the blame game. Stop with the excuses. Poor people hate discipline. They love comfort, they love excuses, and they love just pushing everything off on everyone else. And that's why they're poor, because you have no choice but to be poor when it's everybody else's responsibility to take care of you but you. People want to blame the rich and the wealthy for their situation. It's not on them to take care of you. You don't have enough money to get nobody to take care of you. We get confused about what it means to be rich, what it means to be poor, how to get there. First thing is, it's mindset and behavior. Being poor is a mindset. Being poor isn't a financial position. It's not how much money you make. Being poor is how you process life, how you pursue your future, how you see your responsibilities and your behaviors. That's what poor is. Poor and rich and wealthy are determined by mindset. And mindset leads to behaviors. And then discipline is an internal component of achieving it and helping you grow. Poor people hate discipline because it requires for them to change their mindset about why they are where they are and what needs to happen to change it. Tyler, thank you very much. 3 a.m., 4 a.m., walk up to 10 miles. It's 4:49 right now in the morning, Tyler. Thank you for being here. Point blank, discipline has become a very big part of my life. Just break it free, dude. When we start to become disciplined, we start to put it into work in our life, it changes things. See, you can point discipline at anything. You can point discipline at your health, at your relationships, at your faith, at your fitness, at your finances, at your job. When you develop discipline, you take control of your life. You take control of your happiness. Oh man, I wish I didn't have to work so much. What do you do when you're not working? That's why poor people hate discipline. Because poor people don't understand that they get up and they go spend their time exchanging their time for money. And then when it's their day off, when it's their time, they don't have anything to do. Oh, I'm so bored. I don't know what to do. That's because you poor. Not just poor in your finances, you're poor in your mentality. There are people sitting around here in $1 million houses, poor. Poor because they've never worked on themselves and they've exchanged all of their time for other people's money, believing if I buy a big enough house, if I buy her enough jewelry, if I get them enough cars, if I take my kids on enough trips, everybody will be happy. And you're still poor and you're unfulfilled because your mindset is wrong. Everyone's prepared to walk around here and say, money can't make you happy. If money can't make you happy, why does not having it make you so sad? Why does not having money make you so disappointed? Why does it hurt you so much? Poor people hate discipline. It's a mindset. They hate discipline because discipline requires for you to take actions that are relevant to you achieving your own happiness, to you obtaining your own goals, reaching them. It requires you to do it, and it takes time. Poor people want instant gratification. Why isn't this done yet? Why am I not rich yet? Why can't I invest $500 today and have $5,000 tomorrow? It's a poor mentality. Oh man, why is everybody else doing so good? You've looked at everyone but you. You've looked at all the behaviors and the actions that are going on and to be taken but your own. Discipline unlocks freedom. And the wealthy understand this. The wealthy understand the rich. I'm going to use that term because so many people don't like it. The rich understand that discipline is how we grow. Discipline is what creates systems. It creates structure. It creates a place. See, you're not happy about the place you are in your life as a poor person because you feel a place in serving someone else's purpose and not your own. That's why poor people hate discipline. That's why ignorant people hate discipline. This is why discipline is something that we talk about, but so few practice. Because it's a lot easier to blame externally what's going on than to stand up and pick up our own responsibilities and walk in them. I'm sharing this with you because I know for a fact, from my own experience, from my own life, from my own investment and my own development, I used to be poor. And I'm not talking financially poor. I'm talking about at a time when I was making some of the best money in my life, I was poor, mentally poor. Because I wasn't making things happen, I was letting things happen, and I was under the perception that because I was letting things happen and I was making more money, that I was becoming rich, and I wasn't. How do we achieve it? How do we get there? What are we even trying to get to? I'll tell you how we achieve it, how we get there, and what we're trying to get to. We're trying to get to happiness. We're trying to get to joy. We're trying to get to understanding that the purpose of all of this is about actually living, not being alive, not riding around in a $500,000 car, because for all of us, it's not the same thing. So many of us aren't looking for the same thing to be happy. Many people are looking for, a boat. Some of us may want a truck. Some of us just want to lay in a field on a blanket. Joy is different for all of us. Living is different for all of us. But you have to understand, regardless of what it looks like for you, the behaviors and actions required to get there are the same. And they're yours. They're dependent on your behaviors, on your investment, on your time. Let's learn. Let's understand. Let's appreciate that discipline requires these 4 pillars: repetition, patience, consistency, and perseverance. And when we develop it, it makes us free. See, when you're poor, you have a poor mindset. You consistently look for someone else to have a remedy to your problems. That's why poor people think, well, I need a raise. Poor people think I need a better job. Poor people think I need to become a nurse, or I need to learn how to do tires, or I need to figure out, like, they're jumping from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, and they never get enough skill or put in enough time in anything to be good at it. It's a problem. Welcome in from Indonesia. That's a poor mentality. Poor mentality keeps you stuck, keeps you unhappy. And then you jump from one thing to another thing, because the moment that something becomes difficult, the moment that something requires more of you than it does of others, you jump ship. See, discipline requires more of you than it does of others. It's not about whether or not somebody is going to give you an opportunity, whether or not they're going to give you a chance. It's about whether or not you are going to work on yourself enough, dedicate yourself to yourself enough to have the discipline necessary and the skills necessary, so when the opportunity arises, you're prepared to take advantage of it. Instead of sitting around with a poor mindset of, oh, the world is against me. We have to break free of this, people. That's why poor people hate discipline. Because it puts the ball in your court. It puts the responsibility on you. It's what makes you rich, and what makes you grow, and what makes you wealthy. It's what edifies you. It's what builds you. It's what builds you spiritually and emotionally. Rich people have an understanding that discipline is the core of a system, and that systems are what go to work to help us to grow. You got a bunch of poor people sitting in church waiting on God because they lack discipline. And the only thing that they have and that they do consistently is complain. Oh, God, I'll be so happy when you move these obstacles out my way, Lord. God ain't coming to move your obstacles. God's blessed you with the opportunity to learn how to overcome those obstacles, how to succeed and achieve in spite, how to endure. You don't want that. You want somebody else bearing your cross for you. You want somebody else opening the door and making the way for you. It's a poor mentality. You're already expecting everybody else to be your resource. And I'm not talking about welfare. I'm not talking about going down and asking for assistance. I'm not talking about Medicare. I'm talking about you. And the world understands, hey, poor people want it easy, so let's make everything easier. Let's make it easier and easier and easier. Let's make them so dependent on us that the moment that we walk away, their life falls apart. The moment we turn off the lights, the moment they can't pay with an app, they don't know how to count money. They don't know how to tell time if it's not digital. They don't know how to navigate anywhere. They don't know how to get somewhere without a freaking phone telling them. Make it easy. Take away all the responsibility. Take away all the thought. Take away all the effort. Take away all the work. Because a poor mind wants that comfort. It seeks that comfort. It doesn't seek growth and development. Do you understand that the greatest part of life is the part of life where we commit to something and then we grow into it? We commit to it and we work on becoming it. Poor people hate discipline. If you're here this morning and you're listening to this, it's because you have an understanding and a realization that you don't want to continue to be in the position where you're blaming others, where your future is predicated on what somebody else thinks you deserve, or what someone else thinks you should have, or how someone else thinks you should live, or what's the best thing for you. How do you become happy? What do you have to do in order to achieve your goals? It's not about the outside. It's not about the size of your paycheck. It's about the size of your investment, the size of the energy that you invest when you get up in the morning and you want to become wealthy in any area of your life, you want to become rich in any area of your life, you have to study it. You have to focus on it. You have to work on it. You have to actually care enough about doing the work to achieve it. How many of us are doing this? How many of us are getting up in the morning and getting to work on the thing that we say we care about? How many of us are getting up in the morning, getting focused, and getting locked in on the behaviors and the work that's necessary to achieve our goals, to become the people who we say we want to be? Or how many of us are laying around hoping that somebody else helps us, how somebody else does it for us, making excuses why today isn't today, while now isn't the time? You can't get to consistency because you can't be repetitious. You can't even let's just get up. Let's get up. Maybe you're not getting out there right now, but the least you can do is get up. Let's get started. Read about it every day. You don't think you know enough to do it every day? Read about it every day. And then start doing the first thing that needs to be done. Do it until you're in a space where someone else says, hey, here's how you do it right. Or until you figure out, hey, here's how I do it right. You got to make enough mistakes to know when you're not making mistakes. You got to be wrong enough to know when you're being right. Thank you, Dazzle from Australia. Welcome in this morning. Thank you for being here. Listen, poor is a mindset. Poor is a choice. Poor is a restriction of belief in yourself. Poor is not a money thing. Jesus wasn't poor. You think worldly possessions are what determine poor and rich? It's not. We got more and more millionaires still unhappy. We got these ridiculous things called billionaires and trillionaires. Still don't know what to do. Unhappy. You know how they're unhappy? You know how you can tell? They pay people to come in front of them and beat each other up. That's where these concepts in these movies come from, where someone gets super rich. And I am so unfulfilled. I am still lacking an understanding of what happiness is. I am so rich, I want to hunt people. You haven't found any joy. You thought getting money was going to make you happy, and you have no understanding of what joy is. You have no understanding of what life is, a commitment to living. And so you have to find ways to try to excite yourself, to build yourself up. Poor is a mindset. It's a mentality. It's not tied to how much money you have. Because people get more and more money and they get more and more depraved. And the reason they become more and more depraved is because they're still empty. They're still hollow. They still don't have value of themselves and the experiences that they have that is living, that makes up life. When we learn this, when we learn that the work that we do to ourselves to help ourselves become who we need to be, bleeds out into our purpose and it gives back, not takes away, then we change. We change because we understand that building ourselves helps to build others. Our results help to see manifest results in others. And then you use that to grow. You impact communities, you impact lives, and then you live. You're not just alive, you're living. That's why poor people hate discipline. Because discipline is on you. You have to understand that poor is a mindset. It's a mindset of denial. It's a mindset of woe is me. It's a mindset of what are they going to do for me? How can they help me? Why is this happening to me? I know one of the biggest things that had to change in my life, in my own life, was the understanding that everything that was in front of me, all of the steps that I was taking, the stuff that I was doing, the places I was going, were on me. I couldn't keep blaming other people about who they were being in my life. They weren't being anybody in my life. They were being who they are in their life. And I was there, partaking of it, being a part of it. I was poor. Kept looking for somebody to give me a chance. You don't find nobody to give you a chance when you're so poor that you're not where you need to be to have that chance. You have to take it on. You have to pick it up. You have to determine within yourself that you're prepared to do it, to take the walk, to be engaged, to be a part of it. That's what we do here. We develop discipline. We develop discipline in a way that we take away the excuses for our life. We take away the excuses for our development. And we focus on the things that are going to actually manifest in something and be something. Tyler. Let's get up. I'm glad, man. Glad to see you getting up. See, the day that we're off work, and this is what I'm talking about, Tyler, the day that we're off work is the day to work on us. That's the day that needs us the most. Keep sharing this with people. I've worked for a number of different companies in a leadership capacity. Listen, this company has set up a system that requires a certain number of people doing a certain number of things to achieve a certain amount of goals. And they understand in order for the system to work, there needs to be an investment. They have to invest in a degree in the people, whether they're investing resources like money, time, or development. They have to make an investment. In order for them to do that, in order for these businesses to do that, they had to start somewhere and they had to grow. But when we're there, we're working on their goal. When we get up in the morning and we go in and we start exchanging our time for their money, their goal, we're working on making them grow. If the only time we get up and we work and we focus on development and growth is when somebody is giving us money, then that means that we don't have value in ourselves, because there's no money for me to pay myself for getting up and taking these walks in the morning, for doing my fitness, for counting my calories, for handling my finances appropriately. There's no, hey, here's your paycheck because you learned how to do this correctly. There's no paycheck for that. The paycheck is in the return that we see in our lives from our behaviors. can't sit around waiting for someone else to determine that we've done enough to be paid for something. We invest our time, we get up in the morning and we go to work for someone else, we drive through traffic, we complain, but we're willing to get up on time to be there. Oh, I gotta rush. They need me there by 9 o'clock, it can't be late. And then as soon as we get a day off, oh, I'm asleep till 11. I'm so tired. Oh, I'm so tired. Comfort and laziness and excuses are the things that lead us away from the discipline and the behaviors that allow for us to find true joy in our life. We lack joy because we keep looking for happiness, and happiness is temporary. Jokes, punchlines, they're temporary. Movies, they're temporary. Joy is life. Joy is in a part of living. Joy isn't about money. If money can't make you happy, why do all of your problems start with money and it makes you so sad? You took a shot at my beard, yo. Don't do that, Sanchez. This thing looks nice. You can go back a couple of months. I had my wild man on. This thing is trimmed down right now. This is the look. Man, it's okay to want to rest. It's perfectly fine to want to enjoy some solitude. It's fine to want to recover. It's fine to want to lay down and be with the people we love and relax and enjoy it. All of those things are great. But if you're there and you're doing that and you're saying, hey, I don't have to do anything for anybody today, so I'm going to do nothing. This is yours. This is your time. And then you go to work and you complain about, I don't never have enough time to do anything. I'm always here. No, you're not. You just don't value when you're not here because no one's paying you to live your life. No one's paying you to have joy. There's no paycheck. There's no return on investment in your bank account for living with joy. And so since nobody's giving you money for it, you don't appreciate it. Because a poor mindset thinks that the only thing that has value is money. And if I'm not getting money for what I'm doing, if nobody's giving me a check, if nobody's paying me for what I'm doing, why would I do it? Because that's your life. That's literally your life. Everything else is just getting to that point of it being your life. Now, guys, can you hear me? Am I mute? I hope you guys can hear me now. I want to thank you for being here. As I was saying, guys, you say, yes, I'm mute, or yes, you can hear me. I want to thank you for being here. Again, I want you guys to be able to take advantage. Starting November the 3rd, the first 2 tiers of BNV Finance Fixers are going to be launched. These are practical steps, not just talk, not just walks, not just motivation, not just lip service. These are opportunities to take advantage on a daily basis and the steps and the behaviors necessary to start to implement discipline, a wealth and a growth mindset, and building a legacy on a daily basis. I want to thank you for being here this morning. I look forward to seeing you guys in the future. Do not miss your opportunity to sign up and get yourself prepared. Get yourself ready and get the program started. As always, guys, remember, repetition has 4 pillars. Discipline has 4 pillars. They start with repetition, patience, consistency, and perseverance. When we implement those and we work towards mastery, we're guaranteed to see success along the way. As always, guys, keep showing up, keep growing up, and keep blowing up. And until next time, God bless you. You guys have a great weekend.